and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Here we like to do things budget friendly, and if you are like me and have champagne taste but on a beer budget, these videos are for you. Today we are going to be testing out Temu makeup products that I have purchased in a couple of previous hauls. I will list the most recent one in the end of today's video, but we are also going to be doing this very simple eyeshadow look for some of you who are just wanting two-shade shadow look that is going to be super easy for somebody who is on the go, ready to go out to work, and over the age of 40. So hopefully I have accomplished that look for you guys today. So if you're interested in seeing how these Temu pieces worked out, how they tested, how they did throughout the day, how the application was going on, stay tuned to find out. I have my base started and I have bronzer on. So I'm going to first hop into this blusher, and I did grab a moderately dense type of kabuki brush that I'm going to use to do this. Now, when we did test it out, it seemed pretty sheer. So for me, I'm gonna start with just a couple of dots. Let's see where this takes us. I don't know that this is gonna bring us far. Ew, that didn't turn out real well, huh? I turned on that light, it was too bright. It's very sheer. Pack it on a little bit more. The only thing I'm afraid of is this taking off my base. Is it? It blends out very easily, but it is very sheer. I mean, that's fine because I can go in on top with a powder blush once I have everything set with powders. I can make that pop out more. This would be really good for somebody with a very fair complexion. I mean, very fair. I'm fair, but this doesn't want to show up that much. Now, I am filming in a different spot, and the lighting is kind of poor. I've tried to adjust it a few times, but I do have some lights that I bought a while ago that I should install. I've just kind of been waiting for everybody to leave the house all at the same time so I can turn the main breaker off so I don't electrocute myself. Because if nobody's here, then nobody's going to complain that they don't have Wi-Fi, right? God forbid we don't have Wi-Fi for a couple hours while I install some lights. So it's buildable, as it says, it is buildable. It is a pretty color, but it's really hard for me to see in this lighting, but I think maybe you guys will be able to see what it looks like. It is a very pretty color. So if you are a less is more kind of galley, I'm just gonna plop it on my lips just to show you what happens when you put it on your lips. When it dries down, it kind of feels like a very thin type of liquid lipstick. Not the unbearable type of liquid lipstick, but still not comfortable like a gloss. It does have a pretty color to it, but if you are a lip smacker, lip blender, and a lip licker, it will not last long. It doesn't taste bad or anything, but I think that's good. I'm gonna turn this light on. It's gonna be bright. Hang on a second, guys. And it has not disrupted my foundation underneath. To be fair, I did use one of my more expensive foundations, which is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It's like a $50 foundation, but you can get it, at least in my area, over at TJ Maxx and Marshall's for like 20 bucks. So when I find it at 20 bucks, I buy every bottle and I stock up. That stuff is, it's oil proof, it's humidity proof, it's long lasting, it is there. And the reason why I did that is because I do want to test out this powder and I want to make sure that it has the best chance to actually show me what it can do on a very nice foundation. So now I am going to use my little brushes for my concealer. For concealer, I'm going to use the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Corrector, and this one is a tried and true in the shade 120. This one is very inexpensive, very easy to get your hands on. It doesn't cost a fortune. It has kind of a, I would say, medium coverage. It's very easily blendable. It does have a nice lasting power to it, but it's not going to be full coverage. So if you guys like a full coverage, this isn't necessarily it, but you can blend it. So I'm going to start off with the little baby one, and I'm going to, let's see, this eye so you guys can see what I'm doing. Kind of work it into the inner corner here with that little baby brush. Ooh, that's almost wiping it away. Let's try this one, the bigger one. Yeah, it kind of wipes it away. Maybe I should use something a little bit creamier. I don't know if I like the brush for the concealer. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. Kind of doesn't give me a beautiful blend. Kind of grabs it and pulls it away, to be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit more on, and I'm gonna use one of these little baby proofs that I got from my contact case, where they sent me some freebie goodies when I did my last colored contact haul with HERORANGE. This was one of their little freebies that they sent me. These are really good to get underneath there. And then once I get this kind of all spread out, then I'll use the little baby brush and try to smooth out in the creases. I bet you that's when it'll come in nice and handy. But so far as it stands, I think it's too dense, too stiff, too dense for my preference. Now, I prefer to use a sponge overall, but I just thought, I've seen some makeup artists do the brushes, and they always have such nice, beautiful effects with the little brushes. So that's why I wanted to try it. It helps me get into the creases, so I do like that. Let me I'm gonna try to fix this. I wonder if maybe my concealer is just a little bit too dried out. So I'm gonna use the L'Oreal True Match Radiant Serum Concealer with the 1.5 hyaluronic acid and caffeine in it. It's got this really bizarre little doe foot applicator. I'm just gonna add a little bit on top. Goodness knows nobody needs this much concealer, okay? Unless you're 20 years old and you have the perfect skin and no wrinkles, and you can get away with it not looking too pasty. And then I'm just gonna grab a sponge here and kind of thin this out a little bit, because I think it was just too dry. It's a concealer that is a shade that I haven't used for a while, so I think it just got dry. I think that's the issue. So using my beloved sponge here to try to fix this. I think we're getting a better result here. That's for sure. But I am going to try that brush again with the powder. So, all right. Now dipping into the powder that we had hauled. This is, I think it's POPFEEL. I think it's POPFEEL in the shade number 2. Now there was 3 shades, 1, 2, and 3. And the one looked like it was either a white or a translucent. And then the 2 in the images almost looked like it was too dark, or the 3. The 3 almost looked too dark in the images. So I erred on the side of caution and got the middle one. Well, the middle one seems awful stinking light. Certainly not like the picture. So we will, we'll just play around here a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of finesse my creases because I crease almost instantly, you guys. So if I'm not powdering down ASAP, bad things will happen. Now, I'm going to use the brush again with that flat edge. Dip it into my powder, and then pat. Okay. I do think it works better for powder. I do think it works a little bit better for powder. I can say that the brush is okay for powder, but as far as application of a concealer goes, not so much. So I'm going to finish up my eyeballs, and then we're gonna come in and powder the entire face, and we'll see if this makes my face white and pasty. Grabbing my somewhat dirty puff, just tapping it into the container here, and here we go. Here we go. Sometimes I like the sifters because it helps to make it a little bit more milled. So like a big open powder container that has just the dots, the little holes in it, and then you shake it out. Sometimes you kind of get chunks of powder, whereas these little sifters that are built in helps to kind of make it go on your puff a little bit more dispersed. And I have a love-hate relationship with them because it's kind of annoying at the same time as useful as far as disbursement goes on your powder puff. But okay, so here, I don't know, guys. I don't know how I feel about this. We'll see. The ultimate test, I mean, the true test, the one that I really care about the most is, are my oils going to come through? Am I going to look like an oily mess? Or is this going to be my BFF, better than any of my higher end, better than my Wet n Wild Photo Focus? And if so, for $3, I need to buy more. But we will do a test, a wear test. By the end of the day, I'm gonna pop in a video and we'll take a look at what we look like at the end of the night, and if my forehead can be seen by outer space. Now, yes, I do put a lot of powder on, you guys. I do. I have very oily skin and very large pores that go hand in hand, and so I always have to fill in all those little craters, all the creases. Gives my skin the best chance, and I really pack it on into this T-zone. And then after I've got it all packed on, I can do lighter layers around the perimeter, which aren't as bad as the center of my face. So this is, yes, how I do it. The powder it's very, very, very lightly scented, but it's not intolerable. But what I would say is sometimes people who have sensitive skin have issues with scent. This one isn't too bad, not at all. Are we looking pretty pasty? Now I'm going to fluff the rest of my perimeter and just brush it on with a regular brush. And we will come back and we will do some eyebrows, testing out the new eyebrow wax that we have and the new eyebrow micro pencil. And we are back. We did lose a lot of that brush after I finished powdering. So I went in with another inexpensive product, LA Girl Just Blushing in the color Just Natural. So very, very similar to that powder or the liquid blush that we had put on, just to try to recreate the look with a powder oomph to it, and then additional bronzer around the perimeter of my cheeks and my forehead. NYX Professional Buttermilk Bronzer in the shade All Butted Up. These are beautiful if you've not tried these. They do have a little bit of a shimmer, so if you don't care for a little bit of shimmer, I would avoid these, but these are really kind of reminiscent of the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, but they do have just a little bit extra sparkle and they are a little bit more pigmented. Then for contour on my nose, my butt chin, and the perimeter of my chin, I did use my ever so loved Essence Contouring Duo palette. Love this one. Obviously, I love it a lot. I've hit pan and I am needing a refill. And then on the tip of my nose, bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, and a little bit dusting on the cheeks. For highlighter, I used the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Highlighter Illuminator. I think this came out maybe last year or the year before that. There's a handful of different shades. This one in particular is number 15, Champagne Glow. Now, I'm gonna work on eyebrows. So we're gonna play around with that wax and the micro brow. So usually what I will do to start off with is I will trace underneath my eyes and then kind of fill in and then wax or gel or whatever it is that I'm going to be using, and then fill in again. So those are the steps we're going to do. And again, this is that micro brow pencil in the shade number 2, which I think is a medium brown. It's got some golden undertones in it. So first I'm just going to try to shape up my brows a little bit here. Just brush them upwards so I can see that defined line underneath. Like so. And then I'm going to come in with the micro brow. So let's do this eye so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I just trace a line right following my eyebrow right underneath. This is going on beautifully, beautifully. Okay, so I just trace underneath there. That's what we do to start. Okay, then from that line, I flick up. Following this, the way that my brow hairs are laying, following around, like so. All right, let's test out this wax stick. Wrong side, that's a little brushy doohickey me bobber. Kind of looks like those click stick lip glosses. This could be interesting. I don't know about this. I don't think I like the application of this. You kind of need to have big fat eyebrows, I think, to make this work, to be honest with you. I mean, it's nice that you can kind of play around with the edges of it so that if you have thinner eyebrows like myself, you can kind of get in there. But little spoolies, I don't know. This is kind of gimmicky. Oh, I'm kind of bummed about that. We'll try the little brushy doohickey that's included with it. I'm just kind of brushing up, out, and around. Kind of sticky. I mean, it's not bad. It's pulled off some of my eyebrow hairs. I don't know if you can see that. We need those. We need those. Don't take them away. As I apply more on. Yeah. I don't think I like the application of it. It tugs a lot. It's pulling my eyebrow hairs. It's not real easy to get down at the base like you can with a gel or like a pomade, but you dip in a spoolie. It's okay. It's okay. Now I just take my brow pencil again, come back in and fill back in the rest of the way, going a little bit further up on top. Filling in those sparse areas. From a distance, they look okay, but this one not so much from close up. This one has seen better days. This, I would say, is almost a little bit too dark because my hair is, my natural hair is dyed dark. It works just fine. But the problem is I wear light colored wigs. But, this I like, this one I don't. To toss up. If you had big fluffy eyebrows, big thick fluffy eyebrows, I bet you this would work nicely for you. It's sticky. We'll see if by the time we're done with my makeup look, if it dries. Somehow, because it's a wax, I doubt that it will, and I don't know if I like that either. Okay, moving on. What I said I would do for you guys is a very simple 2 shadow look for you guys. So I am going to do an eyeshadow powder with an eyeshadow stick. So the powder I'm using, I think it's Mally, M-A-L-L-Y, Best Dressed Lids. This one is something that I received from an Ipsy glam bag. And I'm going to be using this more neutral brown shade, which is down here. It's a little bit neutral, a little bit cool tone. And then we're going to be doing a wash over the lid with an eyeshadow stick. So if you guys have not used eyeshadow sticks, these are super easy, especially if you like a little bit of glimmer, a little bit of shimmer, but you don't like the fallout. These are a way to go. This one in particular is the Color Tattoo 24-Hour Eye Sticks. This is by Maybelline. And what color are you? Color number 20. I am inspired. It's kind of this champagne-y pinky tone color. Kind of what it looks like on the lid a little bit here. So first I'm going to do my all over wash of color with that brown, which is called Book Club, that neutrally brown. Big giant fluffy brush. First I'm going to start packing it on, but then tap, 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 and a little bit of a, and I am going to plop it right there. I'm gonna pat that right in and kind of create my line here. Bold, dramatic. Now I'm gonna bring it down and blend. A little bit of circular motion, circle up towards the brow bone here, circle motion out towards the brow bone this way. So inside and outside. This way I'm gonna get a nice blend, nice even blend. And then I'm gonna bring it down in the outer corner of my eye. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Like so. Super simple, you guys. Super simple. One color, blending it out, a little bit darker of a brown tone. If you didn't want it to be so dramatic, you could use a lighter tone brown. For sure, lighter tone brown for sure would be something if you wanted to be a little bit more simple. Repeat that on the other eye. Next, I want to do this right underneath my eye as well. For that, I'm going to find a pencil brush. In case you guys haven't seen my eyeshadow brush collection, this is it. So sometimes when I'm looking for something in particular, it gets lost in the shuffle. So a little bit of a pencil brush kind of looks like this. For that, I'm going to grab that same exact color on my pencil brush, tap off the excess so I don't get fallout all over the place, and swipe that right underneath. This I'm not going to pack on. I really kind of want to shear this out a little bit more. So I'm using a little bit less than I did up on the top. On the top, I kind of packed it in, but because these bristles are more packed, you're gonna get more color payoff than these fluffier brushes. These fluffier brushes are meant to kind of disperse it, and these little tiny brushes, these are more detailed brushes, are gonna add a lot of pigment in one spot. So I didn't put too much on my brush. I did tap a little bit of it off, and now I'm just going to blendy, 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 blendy. And repeat. Next up, the pencil eyeshadow. These, or the crayon eyeshadows, are so easy. You can blend these if you want to. Like, you can apply it on and then you can blend them out with a blending brush. But I'm not gonna do that because I just want to show you how simple this can be. So I am literally going to take this and just draw on the eyeshadow, bringing it slightly above, because I have that hooded eye, remember, slightly above where my natural eye crease is. Like that, so that when I open my eyes, you can still see a little bit of that glimmer shimmer. And then color in the rest, stopping about 3/4 the way over where I have that dark color. And then a little bit on the inner corner and a little bit on the inner corner underneath. That's it. Now repeat. For a more polished blend, I've showed you this trick a couple of times. I'm going to use the CoverGirl Powder Foundation. This is the CoverGirl Clean Powder Foundation specifically for normal skin. in shade 510 Classic Ivory. Take another clean fluffy brush, get that in your foundation powder, and then just go above your brow bone. I should do it on this eye so you guys can see here. Go above your brow bone like so. And this will help to blend in that brown shade into your brow bone and give it a more clean appearance. And then come in here, don't forget the inner corner area here, and blend that there. And then underneath to blend that out a little bit more there as well. So just along the parameter of where you have laid that brown color. And this will help to take away some of the harsh line that you may still have left over and give it a little bit more smoked out, blown out, smoky, smooth appearance. Now you could leave it here. Very simple look, but if you're more of a 3 eyeshadow kind of a person, you could go in with a highlighter and take a little bit of a smaller paddle brush, tap very lightly into the highlighter. You don't need much. And then just come right underneath the high point of your brow bone and just tap, 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 just a little bit. Just give a little bit of a sparkle right there. Boom. That's where I would take it, but you don't have to. You don't have to. So if you are not a 3 eyeshadow kind of girly and you just wanted something simple for the 2 eyeshadows, all you need is 1 brown and then 1 eyeshadow crayon. Super simple. I didn't even blend out the crayon. This one is actually probably a little on the dry side even, and no issues whatsoever. I was still able to apply this. It did drag a little bit because it is a little bit dry, but here's the pros and the cons to an eyeshadow stick. If you use one that is too creamy, it may crease too fast. So this being a little bit on the dry side worked perfectly for me. Also, these the 24-hour ones, it says up to 24-hour eye stick. I don't know if this is supposed to be waterproof or not, but I've not had a problem with these running, bleeding, cracking, shifting in any way, shape, or form. They set and they stay. Another good one is from NYX, and then another good one is from Wet n Wild. So you don't have to pay a fortune for them. I don't know how many. I think I've tried a caviar stick from Anastasia. I think Anastasia makes them, and they do crease a little bit more on me. They're a little bit more creamy. So do keep that in mind, that sometimes the creamier the eyeshadow stick, the more creasing it may do on those of us who have not the beautiful, smooth as a baby's butt, 20-year-old skin. So just keep that in mind. I am going to put on this beautiful lip stuff. I'm going to show you how that works. Taking off the blusher I did put on my lips. And then I'm going to do my eyeliner. Actually, no, I have one more thing to show you that I almost forgot. The mascara. The mascara with the little baby, bristles. I'll put that on now. And then I will do my eyeliner and my other upper eyelash mascara and my eyelashes while I let that lip stain sit. Okay. Okay. Now what I did notice when I was doing my editing and adding in all of these into the description box, all of the links for everything that we had done a review on, I noticed that this says it's a primer. I don't know that that's necessarily what I would use it for. I would just use it for my lashes and not as a primer, but I suppose you could. Helps to fill in all the little tiny baby hairs before you use a bigger bristled mascara brush, mascara wand. I feel like it's finding all of those little tiny lower lashes. I like that. I like that. I don't really like clumpy lower lashes. So I don't need the thickening and the lengthening and all that. I just want a little something, something on these lower lashes. And this, I feel, is the ticket. It also said it was waterproof in the description. Doesn't say any of that on the actual label on this thing at all. It might. Just says long wearing formula. And it says stereoscopic blender mascara. It doesn't say anything about it just being a primer and not an actual mascara. So take that as you will. But for the lower lashes, it does exactly what I want. So I'm pretty pleased with this one as well, I do have to say. It's not super wet and it's not super dry. It's kind of in between, which is nice. I like this. And I can get real close up to my waterline. I like this. A++ on this one. All right. Now we'll put this lip tattoo stuff on. Reason why I have to do this and jump off camera and finish up my finishing touches with eyeliner and lashes is because you can't talk with this on your mouth while it's drying. So once it's on, you have to kind of walk around like this and not say anything for a while until it dries. If you've ever used it, you know. Should I do an outline, you guys, and use it as a lip liner? Or should I just fill in the whole stinking thing? Are y'all filled in? I'll fill it on. Scary. Woohoo! Remember to do that really thick layer, guys, okay? Don't skimp on it. Be generous. Smells pretty. Kind of fruity. The applicator is nice. I can kind of get it exactly where I want it. It's a stain, you guys. All right, so be as precise as you can get it. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Okay. Now that's a look. I'll yak. Okay, I was in the mood for some bangs, so I dug into my Temu wig vault and pulled out one of the very first wigs that I ever purchased off of Temu. And this one is one of the options. The other one was like a kind of an ashy tone blonde, but I wanted to go with dark hair. Now, reason why I also wanted to do bangs is because I want to see if this eyebrow wax is going to move around with bangs. So that's the second reason why. Now we are dry. So here's what I'm gonna do, all right? I'm gonna stretch my lips out, move it around, get it to crack a little. Ooh, I got some on my teeth. Good job, Faith. All right, now that it's kind of coming up, grab my tweezers, And we are left with our lip stain. Ooh, collected in my dry spots a little bit more than I care for. Can we? Kind of. Oh my, that is something. What if I I don't know, you guys. That's it's dark, but it is collected on those dry spots. What if I put on some blush? No? Okay. My Maracuja Juicy Lip Slicks from Tarte. It's just the clear one, but it doesn't say. Maybe it's got like a different word on it, like diamond or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna glob a bunch of this on and see if I can get it to move around. Nope. Okay. Makeup remover wipe. Okay. There it is. I just want to remove where it was so damn dark. Dry patches on my lips. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I don't know that I like this. Don't know that I like it. It might be pretty for like a lip liner instead of the whole lip. It's just collecting too much in my lip wrinkles and the dry spots on my lips. So I'm gonna pass on that. And the color ended up being way too dark. So, and a little bit kind of a reddish tint. I think the dogs want to go outside, but all right. There we have it. I didn't do any eyeliner. I opted out of doing eyeliner and just did like a lighter fluffy eyelash. But there we go. Simple makeup tutorial. What I can say is premise of this, gimmicky. I don't think I'm going to like this. The mascara, perfect, loved this. The blush had pretty color, but not pretty color payoff. After I did the powdering down, the color went away. So it wasn't a deep enough tone for me. That's why I was saying maybe if you are a very fair complected person, this might be absolutely beautiful for you. I'm totally gonna pass on the lip tattoo. My lips are too dry, too wrinkly, and this ends up being too dark. And at the end of the day, I can say overall, the powder is pretty light on my skin. It's pretty light on my skin. And I do feel like this would be better in the next shade darker, which would be the 03. I think it just leaves my face kind of, I don't know, chalky looking, if you will. I don't put any, I didn't put any setting powder or setting sprays on my face to set the powder in. Sometimes setting mists can deepen up your powder, but then as it dries, it lightens back up again. So I didn't really feel like that was gonna do anything for me. Plus, I haven't been finding any setting sprays that are really good for keeping oils at bay. So I opted out of doing any setting sprays. But here's the final look, you guys. What do you guys think? Is there anything here that you're willing to try after the wear test? Today, I will give you my overall final thoughts. I'm most interested to see if this powder is going to keep me matte all day. I'm interested to see if the mascara is going to transfer or flake. And I'm interested to see if my brows are going to move around with the wax. So overall, those are the three things that I really want to test out longevity wise. But off the bat, we do have a couple of fails, which is the lip gloss or the lip stain and the blusher. Those were, oh, yeah, well, and the wax was kind of already, well, anyway, blah, 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 blah. Here's what we're looking at about 8.5 hours in. I have to say, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. A couple of things I would do differently. I would not do the eyebrow wax. Eyebrow wax is still kind of wet. It still looks nice, but my eyebrows fell down. So remember, I brushed them up and they did fall down. I did take the wig off with the bangs because sometimes bangs will absorb the oil on your forehead, and I thought to myself, well, that would be an unfair advantage because I wanted to see how this powder performed. The powder performed pretty nicely, I have to say. Compared to my Wet n Wild, it's pretty much right in that Wet n Wild range. I do have some high-end products that don't work as good as this either. So I'm pretty pleased with this. The only thing that I would change or do differently is try the deeper complexion one, because I feel like it just made me look too powdery white. I think it just ended up looking chalky on me overall because it was the wrong shade. So, but how it performed, very surprising. The mascara is actually holding up pretty nicely. I don't have any flaking. I don't have any smudging, smearing underneath. So that ended up turning out great. And the lip products, I don't care for. Would I do it all over my lips? Again, no. Would I maybe try doing just as a lip liner and applying it around the perimeter of my lips, letting that sit, peeling that off, using a different lip color in the center of my lips? I would try that. But my lips are too dry. And you can see how it's collected in those creases. Not my jam. Not my jam. But I still have lots of color, and I've had something to drink, something to eat, and it is still very, very pigmented. So if this is up your alley, this is a good lip stain as well. So the blush, I don't care for the blush as much. It just wasn't pigmented enough. It blended away too easily. Perhaps if I was far lighter complected, I would have maybe enjoyed it more. If I was a less is more kind of a makeup person, maybe I would enjoy it more. But for me personally, it wasn't it. The eyebrow pencil, it didn't smudge around on me, which is good. So the eyebrow pencil is still there, still visible. No issues there. It says it's smudge proof, but as you saw when I first reviewed the product, I could easily smudge it off of my hand. But again, I don't play with my brows. So, but overall, I think it turned out not too shabby. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised. that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me on another video. If you are new, I would love it if you considered subscribing. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment down below. What are you guys wanting to try? If you would be so inclined, there is a hype button down below. If you tap that, it gives me some points, boosts up my channel and my videos so that other people can watch and enjoy. If you tap that button, that would also be great. But until next time, guys, I will see you later. Day bye. Day bye, YouTube. Day bye to your friends.